This is part 2, Understanding Your Card.
In this next part, we will prepare you to understand what you are seeing when you compare a set of tiles with your Mahjong card. Since the National Mahjong League card is copyright protected, we cannot put a picture of it in this tutorial. And since it changes every year, we will, for the most part, discuss the principles behind the card rather than specific hands on this year's card. When you take a look at your card from any year, on one side you will see a lot of fine print writing. On the other you will see a lot of black, red, and green numbers and letters in rows. These numbers and letters are the descriptions of the legal hands to make a Mahjong this year. Each Mahjong requires a total of 14 tiles, so each of these descriptions have 14 numbers and or letters in them. These hands change each year, and as we mentioned before, there will usually be between 51 and 53 hands on the card. If you look at your current card, you will see that the descriptions of the hands are grouped. For example, in the middle of the center section of the card, you will see a group entitled Consecutive Run, and on the lower right side you will see a grouping called Singles and Pairs. The title of many of these categories will remain the same from year to year, while the title of other categories will change. We are going to show you some sample hands to help you understand the principles you need to know to read the card.
Here is our first hand. This hand was found on the 2016 card under Consecutive Run. On that card it was shown as 2 1s, 2 2s, 3 3s, 3 4s, and 4 5s. All of the numbers are the same color on the card. What that means is that all the tiles must be in the same suit. In our example on the slide, all of them are BAMs. When you see numbers in the description of the hand, you know that means you are to look for one of the tiles from a suit. Only the tiles in a suit have numbers. On the card, to the right of the first set of numbers, it said, or 55, 66, 777, 888, 9999, any one suit. That gave a second option for this hand, using the high numbers in a suit. You could make the same hand with all cracks or all dots, but you cannot mix the suits in the hand. In our second example on this slide, we show the same hand, but we have used a joker in place of one of the 3 BAMs.
This next hand was found on the 2015 card under the Consecutive Run grouping. Its description was 3 1s and 4 2s in green, and 3 3s and 4 4s in red. After the numbers, the description was any 2 suits, any 4 consecutive numbers. On the slide we have built this hand using dots for the first 2 sets of numbers and cracks for the last 2 sets. You know when there are 2 colors of numbers, there must be 2 suits used to make the hand, and the words afterward make it clear that it is any 2 suits. Green color numbers do not mean BAMs, and red does not mean cracks. Also, take note that it is any consecutive numbers, so you could use, for example, 3 4s and 4 5s in cracks, and 3 6s and 4 7s in BAMs to make the same hand. Again, since the description is made of numbers, all the tiles will be numbered tiles from one of the suits.
On this slide, we just used jokers to replace some of the tiles. Since this hand does not have any singles or pairs in it, you may use jokers to fill any gaps you may have.
The next sample hand we want to consider would show on the card as 3 1s in green, then 4 2s in red, followed by 3 3s in green, and 4 Ds in red. After the descriptions, the narrative would say, any 2 suits, any 3 consecutive numbers, Kong and Dragon match. We know that numbers mean that the tiles must be numbered tiles from a suit. When we see a D, we know that we must have a dragon tile in that spot. Take a look at this hand on the slide. We used dots and BAMs to build the numbers needed. Since it needed dragons to match the middle number, they are the same color on the card, we used green dragons. As in our last example, if the numbers are in two colors, it means that there must be two suits used to make the hand. Also, take note that it is any three consecutive numbers, so you could use, for example, 6s, 7s, and 8s instead of 1s, 2s, and 3s. The color also makes it clear that the middle number set, the Kong or 4 of a kind, must match the suit of the dragons used in the last set.
As we like to do, we are showing you this same hand with jokers replacing some of the tiles.
Take a look at this hand. It might be in a group called like numbers. As you can see, the hand uses 4 flowers to start out, shown by the 4 Fs at the start, then a set of 3 ones in green, a set of 4 ones in red, and last a set of 3 ones in black. Since the number sets show as 3 colors, the hand requires all 3 suits. The words on the card after the hand would be any like number. Thus, you don't have to use ones. You can use any number, but they always must be the same number from different suits. This also shows us that when you need a flower tile, the symbol in the description is an F. Flowers do not have to match a suit, they are neutral. Also, remember to disregard the numbers and words on flower tiles.
This is the same like number hand, but here we used 6s instead of 1s. Let's be clear, all the numbers must be alike. You may not use a set of 4s, a set of 7s, and a set of 9s in the same hand.
There have recently been hands representing the year on each year's card. So there was a group called 2014 on the 2014 card, then 2015, then 2016. This may continue well into the future. We are showing one hand from the 2016 card's 2016 category. In the description, it has 4 flowers shown by 4 Fs, then 4 2s, 4 zeros, 1 1, and 1 6. After the description, the narrative said, any one suit. That means the 2s, the 1, and the 6 must all be number tiles from the same suit. In our example, they are cracks, but they could be all dots or all BAMs. The zeros, of course, are all soaps. Since they are being used as zeros, they do not have to match the suit.
Where in this hand could you not use a joker? Did you get it right? The 1 and the 6 are both singles.
I hope this helps you understand what hands shown on the card might look like when they are complete. We now want to stop and give you a chance to take a look at a few more hands. Handout 2 is based on the current year's card. You should look at the hand and write down where you find it on the card, just as we have done in the first example. As you look at each hand, think about what grouping it might fit under. Are the numbers in consecutive order? Maybe you should look at the consecutive numbers grouping. Are the numbers all even numbers? Check the 2, 4, 6, 8 group. Are there lots of winds? Then check the winds and dragons group. Winds are always designated by their direction on the card. N means north, S means south, E means east, and W means west. If you have a set of tiles in front of you, it would also be helpful if you can assemble the tiles you need to make some of the hands using different suits and with jokers. If you have time, take a look at some of the other hands on the card and try to pick out the tiles you need to make the hand. If you have a coach or experienced player with you, get them to check what you are doing and ask any questions you may have. To help you out, we list several descriptions of hands at the bottom of the handout that are not on the current card. Try picking out the tiles needed for these imaginary hands. Then, when you are done, watch our video on understanding the descriptions, where we will show you some examples of what these hands would look like.